Hi guys, Fuzz here, welcome back once again to our Final Fantasy VIII complete walkthrough, and as usual please don't forget just to hit that like button on YouTube, and I do appreciate all your support. So today we're going to be actually carrying on once again with the story, but just in case I wasn't clear last time at the end of the previous episode, make sure you collect your 4 Dragonfangs if you want to get Squall's ultimate weapon early on in the game. You can actually do it on disc 1, which is what I'm aiming for, and I want to show you how to do that. So there's my 4 Dragonfangs, and you should also have the 20 pulse ammo from earlier on when we was doing card battling way back in Galbadia Garden. So check out the earlier episodes if you've missed that. And in order to get the Dragonfangs, it didn't actually take me too long. It took me about, probably less than 10 minutes in all honesty. You need to be fighting Grendels, which can be fought in this forest if you hug the cliffs here. So I've got encounter non-equipped at the minute, so we won't encounter them. But just hug the cliffs, and then you should always encounter the Grendels. So long as they are level 20 or less, you have a 75% chance of them dropping the Dragonfangs. And you only need 4, so that's 4 battles if you're, relatively lucky. If you're unlucky, it might be 5 or 6 battles, but it's not a lot of battles, so it shouldn't take you long. The thing you do have to be careful of is that you might be bumping them up to higher level, and if they're level 20 to 30, that 75% chance of dropping a Dragonfang drops to 25%. So what you probably want to do is just throw in your lower level characters. In my case it was Quistis and Selphie along with Squall, and Squall with his Tornado ability equipped or junctioned rather to his strength stat, and with something such as Aero on his elemental attack, since they are weak to wind, should be able to 2-shot those enemies even with weaker party members. And if you want to check what level they are, you can obviously scan them, or you can just go on to draw, and if they're still dropping, if it's still drawing the first level of magic, so fire and thunder rather than fire and thunder are, then you know you're on a Grendel that's below level 20 and will give you that 75% chance to drop. So that's the way I did it. With Zell and Minoa in my group, they were a little bit over leveled, but as I said, putting those lower level party members in with Squall did the trick, and I'm all sorted now on those items. So with that sorted, by the way, even if you don't want to get Lionheart on disc 1, I still recommend you get those 4 Dragonfangs now. It does become a little bit challenging later on as you start to level up your group, and this is just, to be honest, it's a perfect opportunity. It's 5 to 10 minutes of killing monsters, and you get a big part of it out of the way, sorted. So anyway, once that's done, we can go straight to Galbadia Garden, and wow, that model looks a little bit rough, doesn't it, in all honesty. And if Quistis is in your party, then you're going to be forced to replace her at this point. So here we are in Galbadia Garden, and straight away we're getting the vibes that it's, a little bit different to what we're used to over in Balam. Things here look a little bit more serious, don't they? That music that's playing in the background as well gives us that hint. But first of all, we're just going to keep moving until we get an announcement. An announcement from the reception. So Quistis is going to get us all in there with the headmaster. Okay, so there's the announcement. And all we have to do now is just carry on heading up through the actual main terminal, if you want to call it that. Main area, I guess you could say. And then there'll be some stairs on the right, which we're going to head up. We're not exploring or anything at the minute, we're just doing what it is we need to do. And through this door here at the top of the stairs, which will trigger a scene. Okay. And now we need to speak to our party in quite a particular order in order to trigger what comes next. So we start with Zell. And there comes Quistis. So perhaps unsurprisingly, we're going to talk to her next. Okay, so now we get to talk to Quistis. Sadly, things don't seem to have ended well, apparently, for Cypher. Now we need to speak to Rinoa. Is it just me, or is Selfie looking a little bit abnormal from that particular shot? Okay, so who do you think we need to speak to next? Selfie? No, Zell. And now we can speak to Selfie. Right, so while Squall's having his emo moment, we need to take him towards the front gate. And we get a scene with Raging, who you hopefully will remember as being one of Cypher's little cronies. So Raging and Fujin don't actually believe that Cypher is one to allow himself to be executed, so they're going to go and start looking for him. And that leaves us back in control of Squall when we get this message announcement telling us to do what I've already told you to do, which is head towards the front gate. And we need to go and speak to Rinoa. And we're about to be introduced to our next party member. Okay, so now it's all just got quite real. That sorceress doesn't sound like a particularly nice person. If you remember, we saw her earlier on with Cypher. Okay, so here is our new party member, Irvine, and he's going to be our sharpshooter as we begin to prepare for our next mission. So, we're free to move on now, and we can sort our party out. Maybe we'll... Ah, okay. I think I've messed something up here. We still need to just sort out a little bit of dialogue. So the mission is that Irvine here is going to sniper and take out the sorceress that we met earlier on, and the rest of us are going to support him and put him into position. So we can keep this party or we can change things around. So I wonder if we can put Irvine and Zell together. Yeah, we can. He said we couldn't, but we can. But anyway, I prefer to have, say, I want to try and keep Quistis and Selfie at relatively low levels if we can. So we'll just go for Renoa for now. And then who's got the junctions? Renoa and Zell, I believe. So we'll just sort that across to Irvine for the time being. And we get a tutorial here how to use the switch function, but we've already been using that, so as usual with these tutorials, go ahead and watch it if you're unfamiliar on how to make use of it, but I'm going to skip it. And now we're actually forced outside of Galbadia Garden, but that doesn't matter because we can head back in. So we know our next destination, but we're going to do some other stuff first. We're going to start boosting up our party and buff up our characters. And we can have full access to exploring the garden at this point. So we're going to head back into the main auditorium, where we can save and start getting on with the fun stuff. Well, if you think grinding and card battling is fun, I guess. Okay, so first thing we need to do in order to start sorting out and abolishing rules and whatnot for the Triple Triad card game in this area is to head over to the locker room, and all this is going to be dependent on the fact that you've been following my walkthrough and have the Queen of Cards in Dollet. So you're going to want to speak to this guy, and he's going to try and mix rules. He's not going to on my screen because I've already done this part. And then you're going to challenge him to a card game and then refuse. So you're going to challenge him and then refuse when it comes up with his screen, and then you're going to do that again. And when you come back here, it should spread the open rule. Once you've done that, we're going to head on over into the next room opposite on the hallway. By the way, I've just found out there's a bit of a speed function on the Steam version of Final Fantasy VIII. So you can kind of do these things a little bit quicker without wasting time. Because what you want to do now is speak to this student. And you see how she comes up with this dialogue wanting to mix rules? We're going to select no until she stops asking. Right, there we go. So she didn't ask that time. We're going to just go ahead and hit yes, followed by quit. Once we've done that, she won't give a message, don't worry about that. We just need to head back to the save point, and we're going to have to hard reset the game at this particular moment and reload. So I know this is all a little bit long-winded, but this is how we get the rules sorted, unfortunately. And now we need to hard reset, so we need to just quit here and reload. And once the game's reloaded, you need to very quickly move back to the area we were just in. The longer you hang around in this section, the less likely you have of the random rule being abolished. And we're going to make our way now safely back to the exchange students. Where, once again, we're going to agree to mix rules with this guy. And we're going to do this twice. and then theoretically... Okay, I actually got it to work, but despite my instruction telling you to speak to this guy and then quit twice, I did have to do that, but before that, I actually had to speak to him and then decline to play him. So I didn't even get to the triple triad gold screen, and I had to do that 4 times in a row, and then I had to play him and then quit out of the play screen twice, and then it came up with the random rule being abolished. So it is a little bit annoying, but if you just stick at it, then hopefully you will get there. And so that's another rule abolished. We just need to have a look at getting rid of the plus rule now. So once again, it's a case of running over to the students in the other hall, or the other side of the hall rather, and we need to get her to stop wanting to mix rules, which, you know, as I said, can take a moment or two. Let's just speed things up a bit. Where you just need a little bit of patience. There we go, she stopped it now, so we can go ahead, select yes and quit, and then we're going to go back to the save point and do a hard save, well, a hard reset rather. Okay, so save. Now we're going to quit out of the game completely and reload things back up again. Okay, so after your hard reset, we're going to go all the way back to the exchange student. So now we're abolishing the plus rule. At least that's the goal. And then we'll have a nice set of rules around here that we can play with. Before we speak to him, we're going to examine the draw points. And we're going to do so 17 times. And after examining it 17 times, we're going to head over to the exchange student once more and agree to mix the rules. And we'll quit. And we can see the plus rule has now been abolished. So if we speak to him again, there you go. We've got everything down to just open, which is the beneficial special rule for us, and the trade rule of all, and that's it. So that's a nice little way of getting yourself ready to do lots and lots of card battling, which, as you can probably imagine, is pretty much what we're going to do. And that's going to even help us later on, by the way. Right then, so we can now actually win level 6 cards, boss cards as some people will call them, from one of the NPCs here. I'm going to show you who that is in a moment. And cards that you do want to get are the Krista cards, which you can refine down into Holy Magic, very, very nice. The Siren card, which you can refine down in 3 status attacks, if you should have that, by the way, already. And other cards you can get are the Shumi Tribe cards, which turn into Gambler Spirits. And if you want deaths, you can go for the Alvaret cards, which you should also have some, by the way. So you can do quite a bit of refining now, and it is worth it, it is worth it. You can get AP ammo, by the way, by refining Tombury cards and Tombury King cards as well, and Demolition ammo by refining Cactuar cards. And also the Trauma card as well, which is a level 6 card from the girl, so I'll just show you who that is. And interestingly, it's actually the same NPC that we've been speaking to as we've been abolishing these rules and what have you. So you can go and battle her for some good cards, and just bear in mind as well that you'll probably want to save before you do so, because she does have some quite potent weapons in the form of dangerous cards that she likes to play. But anyway, guys, I'm going to finish things off here for today, so I hope this episode has been helpful to you. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, the YouTube channel, and head over to the Facebook fan page as well for FuzzfingerGaming. The link's in the description, and I do try and just keep people updated with stuff that's going on over there. So thanks for joining me, guys, and I'll see you next time for more Final Fantasy VIII.